Welcome, foolish mortals, to another episode of HitchHiking Hosts Show 101. I am your host, your ghost host, Wes Truth. And I am back this week with another episode of HitchHiking Hosts Show 101, ladies and gentlemen, where I'm going to give you the history of a special attraction. And we're going back, we started our adventure back in 1955. Opening Day Disneyland. What was open on opening day? I'm giving you the rundown. And we've covered Main Street. We killed that. We definitely talked all about Main Street USA at Disneyland and also a few other Disney parks, Main Street USA's. But this time we're moving right along. Moving right along, baby. And this week we find ourselves in Adventureland, where one big ride opened on opening day. I love it. You probably love it if you're watching this video, I would assume. But this is the HitchHiking Host Show 101 history on, well, let's just bring in a special guest. Tony Danza, what time is it?
It's Jungle Cruise time. Hooray!
Jungle Cruise, this time of the day.
Welcome to the world famous Jungle Cruise. I am your skipper, Chris. This boat is the Amazon Belle. Everyone raise your hand, repeat after me. I hope. We will. Return. Yeah, me too. Oh, there's our first sign of danger. That's a 500-pound tiger known to jump over 25 feet. We're only 15 feet away. He should just jump right over us. I don't want to take any chances, though. Oh, King Cobra's over there. Oh, look out. I know that croc. That's Ginger. Yeah, Ginger snaps. Looks like a whole herd came out to see us. This is great. Then if you have cameras with, go ahead. You can take them out and take all the pictures you like. Because these elephants, they all have their trunks on. Now this happy lady, that's Bertha. Been in the shower a bit too long. You can tell from all the wrinkles, but that's happy left. Stay in the shower too long. Could turn into an elephant. Oh, hey, we got a friend up here. Hi, Sam. What are you doing away from the herd? Hi. No, back down. Oh, this guy's a little playful. We'll see if we can sneak by before I always come back. I'm looking out the back. I'm not kidding. I'm just kidding. Bit of dry humor for you. Now I got a group of whoa! What is going on up here? This looks dangerous. Let's go check it out. Oh no. This is terrible. I can't believe it. They left the lights on in the Jeep. I will never get it to turn over. I'd like to point out a few plants. Got a few over on this side as well. Oh, right up ahead, that's beautiful Schweitzer Falls. Named after my favorite explorer, Dr. Albert Falls, but we'll go over that later. Maybe under it. Oh, jump turn, everybody, lead it! Oh! Spoiled my plans. You guys are lucky. We made it to the longest river in the world. Right, if you don't believe me, you're probably in denial. It goes on for Nile. Oh, look, an African bull elephant. You can tell from its large ears and its tusks. It's beautiful. Oh, now this African bull elephant's a friend of mine. We've been working on a trick. Ready? Speak! Louder! Hold really still, I'll be right back. Oh, he's good. He's good, that's impressive. Now we're entering the African belt. It's home to some of my favorite animals. And there's some right over here, look at that. Right up close to the water with the stripes, those are zebras. Up in the back with the long necks, those are giraffes. And these dark animals, I don't recognize, they must be new. Oh, but here we have a family of lions enjoying their favorite treat, zebra on the rocks. which they always share with pride. Yeah, but sharing's a little tricky. They have to separate the white meat from the dark meat, from the white meat from the dark meat, from the white meat. Oh no! Oh, it's okay, you can laugh. They should know better. I never argue with rhinos. They always get their point across in the end. Yeah, painful, I know, but true. Well, now if you look straight ahead, you'll see absolutely nothing. Why I turn here? Yeah. Oh. Oh no, there's some boats up ahead. They may look cute and cuddly, but they've been known to sink our boats, so we'll have to proceed with caution. But just remain calm, everybody. We should be fine as long as they don't start wiggling their ears or blowing bubbles. That means they're about to attack. Oh no. Oh, they've got us surrounded. This is bad. Hippos are really territorial, and they do not look happy to see us. And oh, this one up ahead looks like he might charge. Cover your ears, folks. I'll see if I can scare him away. Cover your ears. Feel safer now? You shouldn't. This is headhunter territory. It's a terrible place to be headed. Who wants to keep going?
Yeah.
All right ahead, I'll wait here. No, you're very brave, but looks like we should be safe. There's some sort of ceremony, celebration, I don't know. But over on this canoe, great example of what the natives can do when they put their heads together. Let me see if I can translate. No, sorry, well, it's worth a shot. We got some artwork though, that's nice. Some bamboo as well. Much more bamboo than you used to seeing on a daily basis. I like to point it out to all my crews. Abandis and I were having a discussion about that. Wait, was it? Everybody, get down, everybody, look out, they're attacking, everybody, get down, look out, we gotta get out, everybody, get down, look out, they're attacking, we gotta get, is everybody safe? Anybody hit by a spear? Oh, good, we're not allowed to keep souvenirs. Oh. The moment you've all been waiting for. It's the beautiful, it's the wonder of the world. The backside of water. Woo! And that's something you don't see every day, but I do. Now this is one of my favorite stops. The tranquil, peaceful Amazon River Basin. Home to a wide array of beautiful plants, flowers, and bones. Now here's a great spot for fishing as well. Anybody on board like to fish? Yeah, that's good, because I'm not much of a fisher myself, but locals tell me this is the best spot for it. They always seem to be biting here. Yeah. Wait a second, what's coming towards us? Wait, hold on a second. Always biting. Turtle, let's get out of here. Oh. Don't worry, ladies, don't worry, kids, these are just man-eating. I think we lost them. Everybody safe, everybody alright. Oh, look out, poor Ned, they come right at you, look out, lean in, we're not danger, look out. Here's a familiar face. My good friend Trader Sam. Everyone say hi, Trader Sam.
Hi, Trader
That's
Sam.
Ellie. Got any great ideas how to end the cruise, Ellie? Something really memorable? Oh, good thinking. Now, Sam's the head salesman here in the jungle, and lately business has been shrinking, so he's willing to cut you a deal. I need 2 of his heads for just 1 of yours. Any way you slice it, you're bound to come out ahead.
One of the most famous Disney Parks rides, in fact, so famous it's world famous, is the Jungle Cruise. An attraction that can be found at Disney parks around the world began as an idea for a new ride for Walt Disney's first park, Disneyland. The early ideas of what would eventually become the Jungle Cruise were taken from Walt Disney's 1950s film series, True Life Adventures. Walt wanted a ride for his park that would take inspiration from the series, especially the African lion installment. Imagineer Harper Goff was brought on board and also based many of his ideas for the attraction from the 1951 adventure film The African Queen, starring Humphrey Bogart and Katharine Hepburn. Goff's designs of the ride vehicles were even inspired by the steamer used in the film. The African Queen featured the 2 main characters traveling down a river in Africa aboard a steamboat. Goff took the movie's basic premise and expanded it to also include rivers in Asia and South America. During its early stages, Walt wanted to use real animals in the attraction. After doing some research and consulting with animal specialists, it was decided the plan would not work. Some of the problems they would have faced would have been the unpredictability of the animals in an attraction that was to be scripted, and the continuous passing boats would agitate the animals. It would also cost a lot of money, land, and manpower to care for the animals. Walt finally decided to use audio-animatronic animals instead. The animals used in the Jungle Cruise were sculpted by Chris Mueller. Some of the audio-animatronics were built at the Disney Studio in Burbank, and some on site of the attraction. Imagineer Bob Matty was in charge of the effects that would make the animals move. One of the hardest parts of developing the attraction would go to Imagineer and WDI Master Landscape Architect Bill Evans, who was responsible for landscaping Disneyland and some of Walt Disney World to create a convincing-looking jungle on a limited budget. Evans not only imported actual tropical plants, but also made character plants, which give off the appearance of exoticism. He used foliage from nurseries all over California and displaced vegetation from the construction of the Santa Ana Freeway as well. Evans also uprooted some local orange trees and replanted them upside down, growing vines on the exposed roots. Another important part of developing the attraction was the water that would be used. In order to obscure things from guest sight, such as the boat's guidance system, as well as mechanized platforms for the animals found in the water, the clean water would be dyed brown. After years, the colorant was changed to a green hue, and most recently a bluish-green color. The water is approximately 5 feet deep and is part of Disneyland's dark water system, which also includes the Rivers of America at Frontierland, the moat of Sleeping Beauty's castle, and alongside the Enchanted Tiki Room. A very vital part of the Jungle Cruise is the skipper, who hosts the tour on board the boat. In its early days, the skipper's original spiel didn't have any jokes and sounded more like a narration of a nature documentary to make it a more believable trip through the jungles of the world. In 1962, the jokes and intentionally bad puns were added to the skipper's spiels to make the attraction more fun. There are 12 boat vehicles at Disneyland with a maximum of 8 in operation at any given time. Names such as the Amazon Belle, Congo Queen, Ganges Gal, and Kissimmee Kate can be found on a sign on top of each boat. The Jungle Cruise opened on Disneyland's opening day, July 17, 1955, in the Adventureland section of the park, and became one of the park's most beloved attractions. One day, however, Walt heard a guest talking about the attraction and saying, "We don't need to go on that ride, we already saw it last time." Disney then realized he had to update the attraction to keep returning guests happy and excited to re-ride. In 1957, a rainforest, pair of menacing gorillas, native war party, and Trader Sam were added. 1961 saw the original two-story boathouse removed, and an open waterway between the attraction and the Rivers of America was filled to create the space for the Swiss Family Treehouse. A year later, Adventureland received a $7 million enhancement and added an Indian elephant bathing pool and Temple of Ganesh, as well as a lost city and Cambodian ruin scenes. Imagineer Mark Davis worked on the elephants in the bathing pool. In 1963, the African elephants were repositioned on the Nile River section, and the 2 original lions and pair of charging rhinos were removed. 1964 saw 2 big additions, the African Veldt and Trap Safari scenes, which Mark Davis also created. The next big update would come in 1976, which would see crocodiles snapping at a hornbill, a Bengal tiger, and cobras added to the Cambodian ruins, a safari camp overrun by gorillas, baboons on termite mounds, the lions feasting on a zebra moved into a new den, and a python threatening a water buffalo calf replaced the gorillas threatening riders from the riverbanks. In 1993, the boats were repainted in anticipation of the upcoming Indiana Jones Adventure attraction. The following year, a 2-story boathouse queue was added and rethemed for the 1940s area to coincide with the construction of the Indiana Jones Adventure. In 1997, the original ride boats were replaced with slightly longer models to increase the the capacity of riders. 2005 saw reconstructions and replacements, including a complete replacement of Schweitzer Falls, the addition of piranhas, and an update to the camp scene with exploding gasoline drums. The current Disneyland version of the Jungle Cruise starts out in the queue, which is themed as a headquarters and boathouse of a river expedition company located in a colony of the 1940s. The line area is filled with props such as pinned insects, an old-fashioned radio, chessboard, and more. The queue goes upstairs underneath an audio-animatronic hornbill and back downstairs. Old big band music from the 1940s plays along with the jungle-related news bulletins to set the mood for the attraction. As guests board their boats, they meet their skipper and head out into the jungle. First down the Irrawaddy and Mekong rivers, representing tropical Southeast Asia, passing large butterflies and a pair of toucans. The first big scene is the ruins of an ancient Cambodian city, where riders see a Bengal tiger, giant spiders, king cobras, and mugger crocodiles. Passing a statue of the elephant-headed Hindu deity Ganesha, the boats pass under the second arc and enter the sacred Indian elephant bathing pool. Here are a large herd of Indian elephants frolic and squirt water at the passing boats. Next, the theme transitions to the rivers of Africa, where guests are greeted with a bang from a group of baboons and gorillas who have overrun a campsite. The skipper then narrowly avoids a waterfall called Schweitzer Falls, which of course was named after Dr. Albert Falls. The boats then pass two African elephants and find themselves alongside the African veldt, where they can see giraffes, gazelles, zebras, and wildebeests watching a pride of lions feasting on a zebra in their den. After this scene, an angry rhinoceros has chased a safari party up a tree, much to the laughter of antelope and hyenas. Guests then find themselves going down the Congo River, where a herd of hippos are ready to attack the boat. The skipper fires a warning shot, blanks of course, to frighten them away. After this, drums and chanting can be heard as the boats enter headhunter territory, passing by a native village before being ambushed by natives wielding spears. Riders then pass behind Schweitzer Falls to see the eighth wonder of the world, the backside of water. The boats then enter the Amazon River and encounter a swarm of deadly piranha. A pool of water buffalo, a boa constrictor, and a head salesman named Trader Sam, who wants to make you an offer you can't refuse for 2 of his heads for 1 of yours. After this, surviving guests return to the dock and disembark the boats. The Jungle Cruise was such a humongous hit at Disneyland, it would be a shoo-in to be added to the upcoming Magic Kingdom park at Walt Disney World. Many of the added sight gags from Mark Davis would find their way into this version to keep things entertaining. Construction for Magic Kingdom's Jungle Cruise began in spring of 1969, and it was an opening day attraction for the park on October 1st, 1971. The queue for this version is set in a Depression-era British outpost on the Amazon River operated by the Jungle Navigational Company. The 1940s style broadcast music is also different and hosted by Albert Awol. There are 15 ride vehicles at the Magic Kingdom with a maximum of 10 running at any time, with names such as Mongola Millie and Nile Nelly. Many of the Magic Kingdom scenes are the same as Disneyland's, but one big addition is a temple which boats go into. Inside a tiger, baboons and cobras can be found. Also near the hippo pool, you can see a piece of downed airplane, which is the back half of the Lockheed Model 12 Electra Jr., which can be found in the Casablanca scene of the great movie ride at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Also, the skippers at the Magic Kingdom no longer carry revolvers that shoot blanks. Instead, they use realistic prop guns. The Tokyo Disneyland version of the Jungle Cruise is very similar to the Magic Kingdom's. It was another opening day attraction and began journeys on April 15, 1983. The queue area is themed to an upscale African city building and shares a station building with the Western River Railroad attraction. This version has 13 boats, with as many as 12 in operation at any time, with names like Wamba Wanda and Senegal Sal. While Magic Kingdom's boat travels the attraction counterclockwise, Tokyo's ventures through the ride in a clockwise direction. The spiels by the skippers are also given in Japanese. Hong Kong Disneyland version of the attraction opened on September 12th, 2005, on the park's opening day. The attraction is called the Jungle River Cruise at this location. The queue takes place in a small boathouse, which is less elaborate than the other boathouses. This version has 3 different languages available, with skippers that speak different languages. In the queue, you can line up in one of 3 different lines: Cantonese, English, or Mandarin. There are 9 boats total, with 8 allowed to run at any given time. While many of the animal scenes on the attraction are familiar to other incarnations of the ride, the finale is quite different. After avoiding poachers and passing a rocky canyon, the boat stops near 2 unusual rock formations that look like faces, revealed by the skipper to be the fire god and the water god, who constantly feud over their differences. The fire god sets the river ablaze, while the water god emits a water bomb, causing the flames to die and the whole canyon to become a cloud of steam. The boats escape the canyon and pass a baby elephant before returning to the dock. In 2013, a holiday-themed version of the attraction titled The Jingle Cruise made its debut at Disneyland and the Magic Kingdom. This version of the ride sees the queue, as well as some of the scenes in the ride, decked out for Christmas. The skippers also tell holiday-related jokes. And of course, we'll talk about more about the Jingle Cruise in an extra episode of HitchHiking Hosts 101 down the line. No matter which version you find yourself venturing on, the Jungle Cruise will always give you 1 or 2 good laughs and a look at one of the Disney park's original attractions. The Jungle Cruise definitely holds a special place in my heart. It's one of the first attractions I ever went on at a Disney park. I think it was like the 4th or 5th that I ever did. And this is one of 2 only attractions that I have been on every single time I've been in a Disney park. The only other one is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. So that's pretty special. So I always make it a must to go on the Jungle Cruise to keep that streak going, because it's very rare that I can do that. Now that includes Disneyland and Disney World. So, but anyway, so. Jungle Cruise, you know, I've been on this ride probably at least 15, 16 times, I would think, by now. And to me, it never gets old. I know a lot of people think, it's the same old ride. It is the same old ride, like that woman said Walt Disney heard, but what makes this ride is definitely the skippers. And if you have a bad skipper, it definitely can ruin the ride for you if you've been on the ride like me quite a few times. But when you have the distinct pleasure of having a great skipper, it is one of the most fun times you can have on a Disney Parks ride. You know, just randomly last year at Walt Disney World in Magic Kingdom, I had a skipper that was hysterical, and it had me laughing even though I know the ride inside and out. You know, you can go on that ride 200 times, and if you have the right skipper, it will just make that ride a blast. So it all comes down to that. And you know, the rides have changed over the years. Magic Kingdom's, I think, is mostly the same since I've been a kid. I went on that ride for the first time 20 years ago. I don't think anything's changed. But Disneyland's have the updates since I was on it the first time just 10 years ago, with the piranhas and the baboons throwing you know, supposedly explosive stuff. It's really cool. And I love the temple in Walt Disney World. That gives that a different feel to Disneyland's. I love both versions of this ride. They're both a little bit different, and they both have some different stuff. So if you go to one, you know, if you're a Disneyland fan all the time and you happen to go to Walt Disney World, make sure to check out their version of the Jungle Cruise and vice versa, because they are somewhat a little different. And it's great to compare, you know, oh, I like that thing, I didn't see that before, you know, that type of thing. But yeah, the Jungle Cruise has always been, it's always an attraction that I will ride time and time again. I think I went on it 3 times last time at Disneyland, so obviously I don't get sick of it. It's just a great opening day attraction that still is fun 60 years later. All right, well, thanks for stopping by and checking out my video on the Jungle Cruise. I'll be back soon with talking about the only other Adventureland thing that was open on opening day, which was the Adventureland Bazaar. How bizarre! How bizarre, how bizarre. All right, but anyway, so until next time, don't forget to come back for the next episode, the Hitchhiking Host Show, where I'm going to talk about all the whatever Disney Parks news goes down. That's every week. And look out for another Hitch Host 101 very shortly. Until then, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. YouTube.com/HitchHostShow. You can like the show on Facebook, Facebook.com/HitchHostShow. Follow on the Twitter @HitchHostShow and the Instagram @HitchHostShow. And if you're listening to the show, thanks. If you want to know how to listen to the show in the podcast form, you can do that. It is hitchhostshow.podbean.com, and you can also find it on iTunes or Stitcher. Until next time, don't forget to...
Hurry back, hurry back.
For the next episode. See ya.